Hi, I'm Rhonda Crimes. I'm a life and leadership coach supporting everyday people just like you to reflect and rework your everyday stories so you can step into the everyday leadership of your families and communities and create a compelling, meaningful and fruitful life every day. And today, let's talk about flattening the curve, something I've been trying to do for most of my adult life. I know these are serious times, but try as I might, I just can't do serious 24/7, 365 days a year. And I'm not trying to be flippant about the COVID-19 times we find ourselves in. And there are some really sad, even alarming stories and events never experienced on the scale we're seeing right now. And I realise it probably will get more intense before it gets better. On Monday afternoon, I thought I'd duck into Woolies to grab some mince for dinner and for Dottie's food. So I smiled as I went past what was left of the 6-pallet monumental toilet roll display from Saturday, noting that there were still a few 8-packs sprinkled on the pallets. And then, as I rounded the corner, the shelves, fridges and freezers were pretty much empty throughout the store. Interestingly, vegan food had not sold out. I know, right? Nobody is that desperate. I had to chuckle to myself. And then I asked an employee if it was due to maybe a truck delay or a rollover, or was it the panic shoppers? It was the panic shoppers. It isn't just about the empty shelves right now. More trucks will come and eventually people will run out of space in their own fridges and freezers and pantries to hoard this stuff. Or they'll run out of grocery money. Or maybe they'll get pinged for running an illegal black market business. God, I hope they run out of space, money or luck before Dottie runs out of food. You know, I've heard of friends in the UK who have aged parents in lockdown. Some who are gravely ill, and no one from the family is allowed to visit, comfort and support them. Because now they are all in enforced isolation too. It isn't just about the diagnosis and the initial separation. The sick need to be in hospital, and those who have been in contact need to self-isolate, so others won't inadvertently be infected. And for your info, there's nothing funny about that. Then, on Tuesday night, my own daughter told me how it looks like the amazing trip she and her fellow travel buddies have been saving and planning for about 8 months or so might not happen. And they might lose all of the considerable money that's been paid out, because at that time Indonesia was not closing its borders. So the airlines and tour operator are just saying, well, we've got your money and you can still come. And travel insurance doesn't apply in this instance because it's a global pandemic. Again, there is nothing funny about this either. But it isn't just about the money, as serious as that is. She's young. She can make more money and go on other holidays. So please, I know this situation is real and testing, and in so many and varied ways. But I'm also intrinsically an optimistic realist. I know deep into my core that I can't change what is outside my control. And I try to find the lighter side of heavy things through humour. I know I personally can't change the outcomes for any of those examples. I can intensely prefer the situations were turned around, so my daughter and all her friends get to go on their holiday without any risk to their health. Except they couldn't actually guarantee that even without COVID-19 in the mix. They planned going scuba diving off the coast of West Papua, which carries its own set of risks. Again, outside my control. But I would wish them all my love and a safe holiday and then eagerly await photos and messages of their awesome adventure when they return once again into phone signal. Or, if they can't go in the next 2 weeks, I can intensely prefer that both the airline and the tour operator will allow them to postpone their holiday until later when it's safer and less chaotic in the world. So, while I understand these stories are outside my control, they are not outside my concern, and I do feel an intense level of compassion and empathy for them all. I do want to be able to help fix things for them. So, what can I do? I can listen to their stories without judgment. I can offer my love and support. I can share funny posts about toilet rolls. I can hear out their frustrations. I can give them the safe space to vent over and again if that is what it will take until their words run dry. I can keep checking in on them to get updates so no one feels alone in this. I can make jokes inside my own home about how cosy and jolly it's going to be if we have 14 days to be together. I can share information directly from World Health Organization and our own government updates as they come to me in an effort to dilute the bullshit that is being spread by people who have panic fever. I can wash my hands for 20 seconds with soap and water many times a day. I can keep 1.5 meters apart from other people. I can sneeze into my elbow. I can limit the times I visit crowded places. Can somebody tell the panic buyers they need to stay away too? Then, of perhaps more importance, there's what I won't do. I won't offer unsolicited advice, hearsay, or tell them what I would do, because I'm not in their situation. And just because my friend Sally Social shared a story doesn't mean it originates from a reliable source. I won't tag or alert them to every man and his dog's COVID-19 horror story on social media or inside the general media. Because no one should be elevated off the back of someone else's misery, even if it is to say, well, it could be worse. I won't sensationalise their situations by posting inflammatory words or judgment calls on every social media outlet about just how awful everything is. Because that only fuels the fury of others and spreads the fear and panic. And seriously, I still need to buy that mince. Dottie's only got enough of my lip-smacking homemade goodness for one more day. I won't dismiss their concerns as insignificant, and particularly in my daughter's case, tell her, oh, it's only a holiday, because that is actually not what any of this is about, from what I can grasp from all the stories I've heard. In my mind, it's about projected powerlessness, and it is the feeling that she is feeling projected powerlessness to make any inroads towards her outcome at this point. That daughter in the UK is feeling projected powerlessness that she may not get to hug her mother ever again. And how she explains her mother's absence to her dementia-suffering father is going to be a huge challenge unto itself. The panic shoppers are feeling projected powerlessness as they face their worst future fears. Oh my God, seriously, our shops nearly sell out at every public holiday. So going into a minimum of 14 days isolation and potentially longer is incomprehensible for so many people. So I guess one more thing I can do is share 7 tips that I've come up with for taking back some power, or rather stepping into empowerment when you feel projected powerlessness at the potential outcomes of COVID-19. Number 1, get it out of your head. Brainstorm onto paper everything that is in your head about your current and projected situation. Whether it's related or unrelated, it doesn't matter, just get it out. Then number 2, decide where your circle of control sits. Go through every item on your list and decide if that specific thing is inside or outside of your control. If it's inside of your control, number 3, note down what you could do about it. Decide what is one action you can take on each item, and then schedule it into your diary to take that action. And no, panic buying is not an empowering action, but maybe realistically creating a fortnight's freezable and non-perishable menu and then calculating what you will actually need is. And that's for 14 days, folks, not infinity. The shops will not close. Number 4, if what's on your list is outside of your control, note down everything you'd like to be able to do about it. Notice I said what you would like to do, not blaming everyone else, not going down the they need to pathway. Get creative, get curious. What could be done? Remember, necessity is the mother of all invention. This may not solve anything, but it might give you a giggle as you come up with interesting ways to fix things. And it might make you realise that there's not one-step solution and that it's a Pandora's box. Number 5, practice gratitude right here, right now. So I want you to create a third list. What is it that you have right now that you can be thankful for? Start off with the little things like, oh, I'm alive, for starters. I can write. I have a pen and paper. Oh, but don't waste the loo rolls on these lists. Be thankful we live in Australia. Soz if you don't, but when the borders are opened up, make sure you make some inquiries and come on down. Conscious connection is number 6. Before you find that self-isolation is a necessity, whether it's by choice or consequence, be sure to introduce yourself to your neighbours if you don't already know them. I actually have no idea who mine are. We have rentals on either side, and I'm a bit of a hermit. But I will pull on my big girl panties and introduce myself this weekend. Oh, it's going to be scary. But I know in my heart it's going to be better for everyone to connect before we actually need to ask for help. Practice healthy social distancing is my number 7. If by some chance you do find yourself in self-isolation, let your friends know. Ask for help. Use the interwebs for connecting. I heard a lovely story of people having virtual drinks with each other to keep connected. Maybe you can FaceTime or open up a Zoom account to keep in touch with your peeps. While you and I might not be able to change what's happening outside our circle of control, we can respond in a healthy and empowered manner to those things inside our circle of control. And then the feelings of powerlessness won't get blown out into overwhelming proportions that consume your every waking moment. The more we commit to the changes required for the greater good now, the sooner we can return to what we may have all been taking for granted later. If your now is not the picture you've painted for yourself and you'd like any help on this discovery path, or maybe something completely different that you intuitively know or feel isn't letting your true colours shine through, then please do get in touch with me. You can do it really easily. Just leave a comment, send me a private message, drop me an email, or click onto my Calendly booking site using the link I've provided, and you can set up an obligation-free curiosity call and see if we're a good fit for each other. Much love until next time, and keep washing your hands.